Hey there, and welcome to Wacky Wednesday here on the Son of the Morning Comics channel. And what we're looking at today here is Superman and the Savage Dragon Chicago. Definitely wacky. The crossover that the world was waiting for. Nah, I'm just joking. So, this is an Image DC crossover from 2002. It was done by Eric Larson, who is, of course, the proprietor of the Savage Dragon. This cover was done by Alex Ross, and so, don't want to waste too much time, so we'll get into it. Story starts off with, and okay, before we start the story, I'm gonna say this. I really don't like the way Eric Larson draws Superman. And I don't like the way he draws Lois Lane or Lex Luthor. Anyway, so the story starts with Superman. You can see him here. He's saying, it's worse than I thought. And we find out rather quickly that, pretty much all of his villains are being broken out of prison by other of his own villains. They're all being... all out at one time. That's not going to be a good thing for Superman. The last thing he needs is for the entire criminal population of Stryker's Island to come after him. But they all escape, and he does his best to try to sort of, contain the situation. See what I mean about Superman here? Like, this is just ridiculous. And so he does his best, is able to stop some, but he isn't able to stop others. So, he's not too impressed with himself. You can see he's rather down on himself there. So Supe gets up and he says, "What happened?" And this guy here tells him, "It was like an army invasion. An army of your greatest foes showed up and tried to break out more of your foes. And a number of prisoners escaped, Parasite and Metallo among them." So, Superman's not very pleased with himself that he's allowed this to happen. And, not great. So then we flip the scene over to Chicago here. Now, we got the Savage Dragon, who is drawn very well by Eric Larson. Shocking how that is. And so, he's a crime fighter. He fights crime. And so what he's noticing when he comes into this situation here is he says... he's thinking to himself, just my luck. A heavy helping of Metropolis heavies have hightailed it over to Chicago to join the forces with the Vicious Circle. So that's not good, obviously. And, he tries to arrest them, and, he has... varying degrees of success, and he is ultimately, as you can see here, knocked out pretty good. And so keep flipping around here, and we can see he's still taking the good beating, but he's gonna be okay. His partner's worried about him, but even though he's down here saying everything's going black, we know he's gonna be okay. So then we flip over back to Metropolis, and they're at the Daily Planet, and I don't like the way that Clark Kent's drawn either. And see, this is what I was talking about with Lois Lane. I also don't like the way Perry White is drawn, and I also don't like the way he's depicted in this. He's almost depicted more like J. Jonah Jameson than Perry White. But I digress. So, Clark is thinking to himself, it seems that a lot of my Superman's, of Superman's most powerful adversaries have joined forces. What could they be up to? And then, you know, they're asking him if he's okay. And then Perry White comes in and he lets them know that the mayor of Chicago has just asked Superman to help deal with an influx of villains into Chicago's notorious criminal organization, the Vicious Circle. So now what that means is that good old Supe is gonna have to go down to Chicago, a real city, and you know, Jimmy Olsen wants to go too, and that Perry White just tells him to get him coffee. And of course Superman is gonna go right away, so he does the classic Superman thing and pulls his clothes off and heads over to Chicago. Here we still have you know, Savage Dragon with his two partners. They're, you know, letting him know that Superman's on his way to Chicago. You can see by the look on his face that he's not particularly impressed by any of that, because he feels he can handle the problem, and he's a real cop, and Superman's a vigilante. And so, you know, Superman arrives to, you know, a lot of fanfare. The Dragon's partners go and they introduce themselves to Superman, who once again looks absolutely ridiculous. And then you can see Savage Dragon not very happy, but Lois remarks, don't look so glum. Don't look so glum, Dragon. Everybody reacts to Superman like that when they meet him first. And so, you know, then as did Lois Lane, right? So ultimately, these two are gonna have to work together. But they're, you know, Superman is asking the crew here if they have any questions. The Dragon has one. He says, "How come you wear your underwear on the outside of your pants?" It's a great question. But, yeah, oh well. And, you know, there doesn't get much of an answer. And then he just looks back and he says, "What? It was a legitimate question." And so then Superman moves on to the next situation. So now we're flipping it over here, where we have all of Superman's villains joining forces with all of the Savage Dragon's villains, and nothing good can come out of that. And we'll just keep flipping here, because God, Lex Luthor looks stupid there. But he's dying, as he's saying here, and he needs the armor of, I can't remember the guy's name whose armor he needs, but he needs the armor to survive. It's Overlord's armor that he needs. And so, very cool shot here. I'm not gonna disparage anything other than Lex Luthor, but very nice one-page shot there. So now Lex has stolen the armor, because that's what's going to help him stay alive now that he's dying from the cancer that he has gotten from, you know, always having kryptonite on him so that Superman wouldn't be able to get at him. Screwed up that one, Lex. So nobody knows that this is Lex Luthor. They think that it's just Overlord. So, you know, these two are not getting along very well. Superman says, you know, I understand that you don't want somebody else coming in here and telling you how to do things. That's not what I'm trying to do here. There's a job that needs to be done, and I want to help in any way I can. And, you know, he's not very pleased about that. He's just like, what? And then he calls Superman an idiot. And then, like, his partner saying, like, give Superman a break. Give Kal-El a break. He just needs it, because it's not like, you know, he can't do absolutely anything. So, you know, it's only going to be a matter of time before things start to heat up. And you can see even here, he doesn't have the best interactions with Lois Lane, and you can see Lois is even pissed off here. And, you know, like I said, he doesn't, he thinks that Superman's a vigilante, whereas he's a cop. And here you have Lois saying he's hardly a vigilante. Superman is empowered not only by the local authorities, but by the federal government as well. You two have a lot in common. You're both fighting for truth, justice, and the American way. And so, which is very true. And so, you know, we have Overlord Armor with Lex Luthor inside show up, and he's saying, take me to your leader. So, this would be a really cool shot if, like, Superman didn't look like how Eric Larson makes him look, but the rest of it's pretty cool. Anyway, so he wanted to see the leader. Will get there. So, you know, now they're just flying, jumping around, flying around the city, doing their thing. And here we get back to the situation. We have, like, old leader, old leader, or they think is the old leader, and these guys are like, he's back. And, you know, the new leader is not so impressed, but he's not going to stand much of a chance in that situation. So, look how goofy this drawing of Superman is. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, this is like when DC and Image were having their meetings about, like, doing this crossover. I think that before they signed any contracts, they should have said, Eric Larson, draw Superman for us. And then if they did, I'm sure they would have said, yeah, no thanks. But that's just my opinion. And, you know, like I said, it's not the most eventful book in the world. We see here, greetings Superman from one Man of Steel to another. Of course, none of them know that it's Lex Luthor under that armor. Superman's like, Overlord, and he calls him a bright boy. And so then we see here the Savage Dragon sees that there's trouble, so now he's gonna hop into action. And, you know, one of the cops here says, Miss Lane, if I didn't know better, I'd think you had something for Superman. And she says, no, I'm engaged. Superman's a thing of the past, but I am worried about him. Okay, now finally we get, I'm almost okay with this Superman here, but this 2-page spread here with the Dragon, Superman, and all of the villains is a very, very, very cool, very well done drawing. That's colored beautifully, so I'm not going to complain about that. But as you can see, the battle is on. And so, you know, like I said, there's really not a whole lot to it. They start fighting them off one by one, taking them out. You know, Superman's having trouble at times, Dragon's having trouble at times, and the rest of them are just sort of looking on because they can't do anything, of course. And then, unfortunately, Superman and the Savage Dragon are taken hostage because they were fighting like 40 people. So, you know, Savage Dragon sitting there thinking to himself, I'm awake and wired and sound. Cyberface is all hooked up to me, and the big blue Boy Scout. Suddenly the lights go dim. I start getting the life pumped out of me. Superman 2 and Cyberface. It's showtime. He's taking it all in. And so then we get the partner of the Savage Dragon showing up, starts shooting all over the place, and his remark is, you gotta love that girl. She's not afraid of anything, obviously. She frees the dragon and Supe, and they are gonna go to finally finish off their enemies. So here we get to, again, we know who's here, but this is where I thought it was kind of cool. Or does it show it on this page, or is it the next page? It's the next page. We'll get there. So, you know, they're fighting these guys off. We know this is Lex Luthor. We know he looks like Iron Man right now, but that's okay. And, you know, Superman punches his mask off, realizes it's Luthor. And then, of course, this brings a smile to Superman's face, and he says, you lost, Luthor. I've got you at last. And meanwhile, and this is what I was talking about that I really liked. He's a dragon, so obviously he's got horns and or whatever those things that dragons have on their back are. So he's asking this guy to squeeze even tighter, and he does, and then he squeezes himself until he impales himself. So that's always great. And so here we have Superman just telling Luthor it's over, and then Luthor is saying, I don't understand what happened. How did I even get here? And like, it's just poor Superman, he says. And so, you know, not the greatest situation here. As you see, somebody's walking away looking like a free man. And yeah, so last page of the story here, we have the dragon and Superman. You can see, like, what kind of Superman face is this? You got Savage Dragon's very happy, his partner's happy, Lois Lane's happy. You can see that the dragon's happy because it's a win, and Superman's looking at this like a loss. But at the end of the day, Lois says, you know, I'm gonna take you all out for dinner, and it's her treat, so that makes everybody happy. And last thoughts from the Savage Dragon are, so the Man of Steel has feet of clay. He's not as perfect and infallible as the press makes him out to be. I can relate to that. Turns out he's not such a bad guy after all, for a man who doesn't put on his underwear properly. And that is Superman and Savage Dragon Chicago. One of the more ridiculous crossover books you'll ever gonna read. Certainly wacky, certainly qualifies for this Wacky Wednesday here on Son of the Morning Comics channel. So, thank you very much for joining me today. If you like this content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, you know, hit the notification bell too so you can see when new videos come out. Leave some comments if you'd like, and you can always reach me over at sonofthemorning7 over on Twitter. Have yourself a wonderful day.